panel, which we're starting now, is called Advanced Programs for SMEs, and we'd like to cover the topic of how banks can be partners for SME customers. When I was preparing to that panel, I actually ran the latest trends white paper report, and it was saying that 69% of SMEs is considering their banks as just utility providers. And only 8% of SMEs really think that their bank is a partner, is a business partner for them. And what we saw today in the morning in the Stefana's presentation, that actually the providing of non-financial services and being the partner for SME customer is really the added value, and customer would appreciate that. So let's discuss this topic during that panel, and I invite for the first presentation on how to make friends with SMEs, Katarzyna Królak-Wyszyńska, Innovatika.
Hello, thank you. It's the most terrible moment during the conference after lunch to have a speech, because all the blood from our heads goes to our stomachs and everybody is just digesting and not really interested in focusing on whoever is standing and whatever is talking. But I'll try to give you a few thoughts and some of the experience that I have from my work. And I'm the CEO of Innovatika. You may have heard of that company or not, because we are not a huge company. We are the SME, and we call ourselves future makers. We are innovators and entrepreneurs. We are building products, services, and businesses for corporations. So whenever you are considering building a startup, you can come and we know how to do it. So a few lessons from the side of the consultant who works with the banks and who works with big corporations, and SMEs are very often clients of our clients, right? So making friends with the SMEs or making friends in business, it's not a very common thing or common. What was the best word in English? It's not so obvious to talk about making friends in business. So I started to Google it, because when you don't exist in Google, then it means that you don't exist at all, right? So what can Google show us when we are searching for making friends? So we get just kids as the outcome, as the result of the search, and some graphics. I think that may mean that making friends is one of the very original and primary things for human beings. We have to start making friends when we are kids, and it's a very natural thing for us, for human beings, to make friends. Then I started to Google SMEs. So what can Google say when you are looking for SMEs? Oh, they are just showing the name and the abbreviation, the letters, SMEs. Well, what happens when you switch to Polish? In Polish, SME is MŚP. So when you are looking for SMEs in Polish, then you are having a little bit more diverse set of pictures and a lot of graphs. So how do SMEs look like? Are they Excel sheet cells, or are they graphs? Of course not. And of course they are not Excel sheets and they are not graphs. SMEs are human beings. But actually, a lot of banks, a lot of institutions don't see it. A lot of corporations see SMEs as just one big bucket of companies and not people. So one of our discovery from the research that we are running, is that SMEs actually are people, and they want to be treated as people, and they want to be offered things that people, you know, individuals are interested in. And here are 3 principles that are related to making friends with other people, and they can be very, very relevant for making friends with business. So first of all, the first principle is find places to meet your customers, to meet SMEs. Where are they? Of course, they are where they work, and they work really hard, and they work in the hairdressing salon or cosmetics things, or the garages where we put our cars. And actually, those people are the ones that we really have to trust. Because you don't want to have your head dyed by someone who you don't trust. And you don't want to give your precious car to someone who cannot fix your car. And you don't want to go to the doctor who is not trustful, right? So the SMEs, actually, SMEs owners are people who are trustful. And we have to treat them that way. And we have to accept the fact that SMEs are different, just like we are different. We like different cars, probably, and different colors of hair. And SMEs are also different. It's not just one bucket of companies that can be treated as one category in our Excel. They are really different, and we have to do the segmentation. Just as we do, and it's pretty obvious for everybody, to do segmentation for the mass market customers, right? So we have to do the segmentation for SMEs as well. The next thing, we really have to try to understand their needs and to understand the motives for feeling happy, so-called gains, what really generates benefit and pleasure for SME owner. And on the other side of this story is the problem that this person wants to solve. Actually, it seems, or it's not that it seems, it's just the fact and the statistics that most of our decisions, any decisions about buying things, are based on solving problems. Anybody of us here, whenever we are, taking money from our pocket, be it a consumer or be it a manager, we want to solve the problem. So as soon as we are, sorry? I said that it's a lot of emotional. Of course. Of course. Well, it's usually the combination of two, right? Emotional goes to sort of, I have the problem that I want to show off, for example, right? Or I want to look really good today, right? It's yeah. So if I have the problem that I don't know what to wear to look good, then it is a problem that I can, of course, fix using a lot of emotions, right? And actually, combination of emotions and functional jobs is the best combination in any sales environment. Okay, so when we understand the problems of SME owners, then we are guaranteed the success when we help them solve this problem. Number 2, principle number 2, when you already know when your customers are, where to meet those people, you have to make the first move. It means that you have to start. You have to be the first one. So what can we do as this first move? Every SME owner needs a good offer. That's obvious, because that's obvious for any kind of business. So what we can do for them, we can help them create a new value proposition. A new value proposition that comes, for example, from partnerships. Arranging the environment in which SME owners can build partnerships can be really very, very supportive for them, and they can find a totally new value that they have never ever thought about before. The next thing we can do in terms of making the offer more interesting is about designing the better customer experience. We had a speech today about technology and customer experience, that it's not actually technology is just transparent, you may say, for the customer. It's the customer experience that really matters, and those emotions that you were mentioning. So we can help those SMEs create the better customer experience. And the third one would be the easier payment, which also comes to this better customer experience. It can be somehow related and combined. So the bank has the whole array of things that can be done for SME owner in order to make their offering more attractive. And principle number three, you have to think long term, because it's not just about the one-time date that you are going to go for with the SME owner, but you want to build a long-term relationship. So you have to maintain this friendship. And how to do this? Actually, the really great direction is to become a business partner for the SME. And the banks have got a great opportunity in this area. And I want to share one story from Innovatika's story. When we were doing a project in USA for a restaurant chain, we are never experts in the industry that we are working for, because people from this corporation are definitely better than us, for example, in restaurant business. So, and food business. We were always asking our customers to present the best trend reports that they have about their market and about their industry. And this restaurant chain has sent us a lot of papers from really very well-known research organizations or consulting companies. But the best one came from a totally unexpected source, from the company called Tyson. And Tyson is a meat processing company, meat provider for the restaurant. And it turned out that Tyson generated this really excellent report about customer trends, because they have realized that the only thing to differentiate is to become the partner, the business partner and strategic partner of their clients, which means of restaurant chains. And they have created a sort of the R&D wing or huge, I would say the huge unit that has, they call it discovery centers. And they are researching the needs of the final customers of their clients. And they're presenting the report with the totally new trends, and which says your customers will be buying this in half a year time. And right here, there is the product to satisfy those needs, of course. So it's a combined thing, of course. But Tyson became the absolutely number one strategic partner. So every bank, as Olena has said, has got also this opportunity, and SMEs really value that. So you can, for example, help them filter information, because when we are doing research, for example, with SME owners, and we want to make an appointment with them, we have to wait about 2 weeks in order to meet them, because their schedule is so busy, because they have to, you know, do the manicure and hair and fix the car, etc. They have already their calendars full of appointments. So they are very busy and they don't have time to filter information. And if there is someone who can provide them the information that is really valuable, then they would be more than happy. The second thing is about making decisions, because they need support. They know how they operate by themselves, and they don't have this time, and they are not trained in order to think very strategically. So that's what really can make the difference in their life and in their business. And the third thing is about growing the business, which means that we can even tell them how their environment or landscape, business landscape looks like. That would be absolutely gorgeous for the SME owner to know how many new garages are opening, let's say, within the range of 20 kilometers, right? And you as the bank can know it very easily. So I would like to share some best practices. You may have heard about Santander Trade. It's a very nice platform for SME owners, the platform that provides the network, that provides the knowledge, and gives the support in growing business globally. Another example is the Virgin Startup program, which gives the loans, but also takes care of the network and supports women in entrepreneurship. And last but not least, some 80 years ago, this book was published, How to Influence and Influence People. And this book was not the first book of Dale Carnegie, and he was expecting exactly the same effect that he would have with some other titles, around 5,000 copies. And this book sold in over 50 million copies. Because making friends equals influencing people, influencing their lives and their businesses, and that's something that actually we can do. Thank you very much.
So we will have questions in the end of the panel. And I would like to invite the next speaker, Marek Soltysiak, Head of Business Banking Products in Alior Bank, to share the experience in Alior Bank on partnering.
Okay, thank you. Can you hear me? It's okay? Okay. So I'm here to share with you some of our experience and approach to helping micro companies and startup companies to grow, run, and develop their businesses. We have launched Zafirmowani.pl, which is a platform initially intended to help to optimize your daily business operations, how you run your business and what you do in your business. So we have thousands of new business owners starting their business each month. And the majority of them perceives formal aspects of running your business as the key obstacle in becoming effective and quick. And given the fact that digitalization is inevitable, it's future not only for banks but also for SME business owners, we have decided to launch a platform that tries to provide them with the integrated ecosystem of their daily operations, and on top of those digitalized tools, it also lets them access to expert knowledge, to value-added tools and services that come up as business opportunities at the end of the day. So we have started with an online accounting tool which provides customers with the possibility to run their accounting, to run their invoicing, tax service fully online. We have provided them with many expert advisory tools and even direct contact with experts, which I will show later on. And at the end of the day, we as a bank are willing to integrate this daily business ecosystem with banking products and facilities. We have launched the platform in June 2016. So after a year of, let's say, friends and family stage, development stage, we've started marketing this platform only a couple of months ago. And we already see a significant increase in number of active users. What is most important to us, given that the number is still pretty low, is that 57% of those active users actually use our online accounting tool actively. So to us, looking into the future, these are the potential customers to become our loyal customers as a bank customer. So to the online accounting tool. Once you become a digital business owner, you really don't want to visit your accountant in a, let's say, stationary offline office with lots of papers and with the time needed to spend to get to them, to speak to this accountant. So our tool is accessible from every place in the world, from your laptop, from your mobile phone, from your iPad. And it provides you with the comprehensive set of tools to actually cover your full accounting needs. To start, first of all, you can issue your invoices. Okay, so you do it in a standardized way. You can categorize them, and they are uploaded directly to your accounting system at the end of the day. So you save some time in doing this, the paperwork. We are covering all of the types of invoices that business owners need to issue. On the other hand, you can register your expenditures, your incoming invoices, and again, categorize them, arrange them, and have them directly in your accounting register. So having those two sides, I mean the costs and the revenues, you can then manage your payments. The tool allows you to manage the upcoming payments, the tax payments. It can tell you whether you have delayed payments as well, incoming as those outgoing, and having all of these features online, accessible from your mobile, from your laptop tools. It really allows you to manage your business without this time spent on traveling to your accountant. So this is really something that we believe is, especially for those newcomers, for those digital future businesses, is something that is really valuable. What you won't get from your accountant are those user-friendly and nice-looking, to be honest, reports that can also show you who are your main contractors, what are your key driver costs, and what is your turnover related to the specific area of your business. So this as a whole allows you to really integrate your paperwork into your digital tool, that you really don't need to run offline. You have it all anytime, anywhere you want to have it. On top of that, on top of the accounting tool, we are developing a set of value-added services. Okay, so the first thing I wanted to share is the whole, let's say, knowledge center. So again, when you start a business, and I remind you the number from the first page, 27,000 of new businesses opened in Poland each month. Okay, many of those people opened their businesses and want to focus on their business, not on the paperwork, not on research on how they should operate their business. So there we come into play. We tell them, we advise them how to start a company, how to manage their sales, their HR, their tax, even the marketing. And we do not do this as a bank, because we as a bank, we are good at banking. So we invite external vendors, external experts that share their experience, their specific knowledge in those areas. When a business owner needs to go deeper into the subject, when he has specific questions, he needs some specific knowledge, how to do it, what to do. He can get in touch with experts that are available, again, online, that will answer your specific questions, I don't know, within a couple of hours, maybe one day, and provide you with the specific answer to your business questions. So this knowledge center probably is something that will grow and will become even more important as our future business owners will really value the time saved on the selection period, the time to select whom I'm going to choose to advise me. We provide really the best experts that know what are the business needs. Just to give you an example, we have developed a tool that advises our customers how to operate, how to move, how to search, how to understand the EU funds. We have an EU funds finder. We have all the programs presented, and somehow we can attach the exact program to the exact business needs. We can even make an audit of your application, so we can tell you, we don't do this as a bank, but we as a provider, we can tell you whether your project is good, whether it has a chance to be successful, and what are your chances to actually getting this EU funding. Coming to, again, to the basic needs, to the daily operation needs, we also find the whole documentation topic as something that is hard for our business owners. What type of agreement should I sign? How should I manage my HR operations? Based on what documents? So we have created a documents base that you can just simply choose whatever the document, whatever the statement, the agreement you need, and you can be sure that it is good, that it's correct, that it is not just a simple draft from Google. It's precisely dedicated to the topic you want to cover with the specific document. So again, having all those basics covered, the accountancy, the documents, the knowledge, we now come to the fun part, to the business opportunities. So first of all, what being a Zafirmowani.pl customer will bring you, it will bring you the access to the other users, to the other businesses, just as your business, just as digital, as open to cooperation as you are, and you can search them, you can contact them via this portal and really benefit from the opportunities that come from this direct communication. We are also strongly working on delivering business opportunities through our partners. We have lots of them already. We have a strong pipeline of future cooperations. So once there is either a fintech or a regular business that provides some good, some unique service to SME customers, we are open to cooperate. We are open to share our platform for those businesses to reach our customers and for our customers to benefit from the opportunities that those specific services provide. Just, well, to be honest, the price at the end of the day is probably something that is most important to SME customers. Nobody wants to pay more than anybody else. So the key benefit, apart from getting in touch with those companies, getting their services available online, are also those discounts. So we really believe that we as a bank can partner our SME customers in benefiting, in lowering their costs. And probably the example I will share is not related to the topic of this conference because it's not fintech, but just to prove that we really are keen to deliver cheaper service to our customers, the real benefits in running their business. I wanted to share with you our latest product that we launched only a month and a half ago. It's a simple, normal, ordinary business account that is free, but also it allows our customers to lower their costs of the fuel. For those of you who are not familiar with the Polish fuel costs, it's like around 15% discount on every gas station in Poland. Just because you're an Alior Bank customer, and just because you use our account and our debit card. So looking into the future, we want our customers to be attracted to the benefits that we will provide, to the value-added services that companies like some of you are, and what we have seen yesterday and today. So we want to provide those customers with the services that you can offer, and by this and by benefiting from this all discounts packages, discount programs, we really want to help our customers grow their business, make it digital, and make it successful and profitable at the end of the day. So this is what I wanted to share. Just one more thing. We are still at the early stage, so I really invite you to follow our platform to see how we will develop. We will develop, so there is more to come. And we are really open to start new cooperations to deliver unique services and programs. So we are really keen to hear what you have to say and to share about value-added services for SMEs, what you can offer. So thank you for your attention. And, yeah.
Thank you very much. Thank you. And the clicker. Thank you. So let's continue the topic on how banks can help SMEs actually to digitalize themselves. And we know that if SME customer has access to the e-commerce platform or digital portal, so then he can sell more and he can sell globally. And to give us new ideas or fresh ideas how to do that, I invite here to the stage Lukasz Rozynski, Opportunity Network. You're welcome.
Hello everybody, my name is Lukasz Rozynski. I work at the Opportunity Network, came from Barcelona to talk to you about a very special business solution. It's a business solution that I myself have to admit was not sure about a little bit over a year ago, but now I'm a firm believer, and I want to tell you why exactly that is. So before we go there, there's a lot of research around what are the trade enabling factors, but the main thing which comes up is absolutely, I would say, hits you in the face, is the access to the markets themselves. You think about it, it makes a lot of sense because the big companies, they will have their export departments. They'll have people specializing in building relationships across borders, but the small companies typically will have 1, 2 people doing that without much success. So what do SMEs do today? They do 4 things, mainly. They will tap into their own personal network to try and access new markets. They will do Google searches, so they'll try to find companies which could be, in their opinion, a good match for their business model. They will use consultants, or they will travel to trade conferences like we are here today. Now, there's a number of obstacles within this approach, but the main one is it's not really scalable. So let's take, for example, your personal network. It is what it is. It's not going to change overnight. It's not going to grow 3 times the size in a week or 2. And really, any other of these approaches is the similar thing. So you can only travel to that many conferences per year. You cannot really travel to more than 5, 6 conferences any given year if you're a small and medium enterprise, and that's, again, not scalable. So how do we solve that? So at the Opportunity Network, we have come up with a mix. It's a mix of 5 things that create a product, which, I'm sorry, am I in the way of your slides? Should have told me before. So we have come up with a mix of 5 traits which make this product work, the one that we have. So the first thing, we're global, which solves the issue of the network effect. So in any network, as I'm sure you know, you need a minimum viable scale for the network to work. Otherwise, it just collapses under its own weight, and we have a lot of examples of that happening on the Polish market as well. The second thing, which is very important, is that every time you're on a network, you need to start a conversation from a minimal place of trust, and for that reason, all our members have been vetted by financial institutions worldwide. The third thing, and I'll come back to that later, but this third thing is very interesting. It's paramount to be anonymous, at least in the beginning. You don't want to be exposing your business objectives to a wide spectrum of people without knowing who you're talking to. It's best to only talk to those people that you feel could be a good match, right? And I'll get back to that later. It's an interesting point, by the way. Then the fourth thing, we have only decision makers. So it's all direct decision maker to decision maker on our platform. There's no intermediaries at all. We have had a few banks ask us if they could act as intermediaries for their customers. We always say no, because this kills any traffic on any network. Intermediaries don't work. They simply don't work in networks. Then the last thing, we have consultants, and I stress this word consultants, not call center operators, that know the businesses that they're working with and help the members navigate the platform, post-connect, and find deals which are good fit for them. But there's one more thing. There's one more thing, and that is we always start with opportunity, with a business opportunity. Okay, now let me illustrate this by an example. We are here at this conference today. I'm sure you have met a lot of interesting people like I have. And the way the process works, you'll meet somebody, you'll talk to them, you try to understand who they are, what their history is, and only after that, you're able to start a business conversation. So you're already 45, 1 hour down the road. And that's fine, because it's great to meet new people. But from process effectiveness point of view, we have found by trial and error that reversing this process makes the looking for a match much more effective. So let's take this example. Let's say I want to raise $2 million for a project. What I will do if I just start talking to people, I'll probably talk to 10, 15 of you before the conference ends, and maybe somebody will be a match, but statistically speaking, it's very low probability that there will be a match for my need within these 15 people. If I, on the other hand, start with my need first and post it anonymously, I'm looking for $2 million at this price for this kind of a project, then I will only be talking to people who are a potential match. So I will first find somebody who is a match for me and then start the due diligence process. And by reversing the order, the effectiveness of the whole process skyrockets. I'll just give you one KPI. 80% of our members are able to find a connection to their opportunity within 6 weeks. So these are small things. Why am I talking about this in length? These are small things which create a compound that works. So these 5 things plus the last thing that I mentioned. So who are we? So technically speaking, we are a digital platform which connects individuals, high net worth individuals, and CEOs of SMEs across the world. But we're more than that. We are a business generating tool both for members and banks who invite their members, and I'll talk about the banks in a second. But we also created a vetted community of trustworthy individuals and SME owners globally. This is just to give you an example of our business development team, where they are. I work with this team on a daily basis, and I have to tell you that the feedback we're getting from banks, we're discussing with over 100 banks globally right now, is very, very positive. This slide talks about our progress to date. We started in 2014 with a team of 10 people, out of which 5 were founding members, right, and 800 members on the platform. Today we have almost 15,000 members. We have generated over 19,000 connections to date. The deal flow on our platform is north of $80 billion, and we employ over 100 people. So the quality of the members of the network is always connected to the quality of the partners that you're working with. So we always target the most prestigious banks in a given geography. As of last week, we've signed UBS. This is going to be a press release in a couple of weeks. I don't think I have to talk more about that bank, who they are, but we have more. We also have London Stock Exchange as our partner, Dentons, which is the biggest law firm in the world, YPO, which is a young business organization for CEOs under the age of 45. We also work with Intesa, which is the biggest bank in Italy, Caixa, biggest bank in Spain. We work with BCI, which is the third biggest bank in Chile and the first in digital. We also work with Citizens, Eurobank, Alpha Bank, which is the third biggest bank in Russia, and many, many more. So these are just our main partners. I also wanted to give you a feel of what the platform really looks like, how simple it is, and I feel that simplicity is our strength.
What do most businesses need to become global? Access to a wide range of international trustworthy CEOs. And that's exactly what we, Opportunity Network, can help you achieve for your business. Opportunity Network is a business matchmaking platform that allows business leaders from all over the world to connect in a fast and efficient manner. Members can gain access only through exclusive invitations sent out by our trusted partners. It's simple. You can post and find and connect to business opportunities on the platform anonymously. In this video, you will learn how Opportunity Network works. Opportunity Network's platform offers 2 main features. You can post an opportunity and find and connect to other members' opportunities. You can post different opportunities according to your company's strategic business needs, allowing you to gain platform visibility and let other members know what you are looking for.
So the second part of the video is more technical. I don't think that's interesting for you. This video is easily to be found on YouTube if you wish to see it. The platform wouldn't work if we didn't have success stories. So there's a number of success stories. We get them on a daily basis, but the one I like the most, there was a company from San Francisco that March this year was able to raise $2 million for a project that they're doing with NASA. I think that's pretty cool. So how can you benefit as banks? So there's 2 things that you can gain from working with Opportunity Network. The first one is client satisfaction. Your clients will be more satisfied with working with a bank that's enabling them to scale globally. I think that's pretty obvious. But the second thing we can help you with is we can help you understand the behavior profile of your customers and what is it that they really want to do. And because we share at the consent of the customers with the bank that invited that particular customer, we share with them what the customer is looking for, what are the general interests, so we can segment that by numerous KPIs like deal type, deal size, geography, so on and so forth, which will allow you to have the right conversation with the right customer at the right time. Now, I have worked at Deutsche Bank, General Electric, and a few other places, and I've worked also with CRM. What I remember is that the way that banks cross-sell today, you will segment your customer to a certain extent, your base, and you will try to get a 3-5% cross-sell ratio, and you'll be very happy with that, which is a great result, by the way. But by knowing exactly which customer needs what, when, you can use your sales network far more effectively. You can enable yourself to have a much better product penetration with your customer base, but also, which is, I think, key, you'll be able to talk to your customers about their current needs. From our experience with the banks that we're working today with, a lot of times the real understanding of the business model is limited to the financials. You will not really be talking in length about the plans, the future plans of your customers. You will be talking about current plans and current actions that they're already replicating. And by being able to give them a window to the world, but also the ability to understand their profiles in depth, you'll put yourself in a different position. So what I'd like to ask you to do is if you could think about how you could benefit from working with us. And when you come back on Monday, maybe you could talk with your teams about that and join the club of other people talking about us today. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thanks. And now I'm inviting Fabio Maffioli, SizeUP, to present how diagnostic analysis of business can help both SME customers as to look and analyze their businesses in a structured way, and to the banks as having all the information and data available on the customers and on the prospects, and having then an opportunity to offer a tailored products for SMEs. Well,
very good description, actually. I don't need to present anymore. Hello, everyone. I'm going to try to do something risky, which is a live demo of the product. So we are a bit more entertaining and we keep you awake. My name is Fabio Maffioli. As my name can tell, I'm Italian. I work from the London office for a startup from San Francisco called SizeUP. So SizeUP was created 5 years ago in San Francisco. And basically what we do is we provide business intelligence and market research to every SME customer of a bank. Initially, when we launched the product at TechCrunch Disrupt, we were targeting small businesses, but we soon realized that it was very difficult to scale and also get traction and visibility. One day we presented at Finovate, and suddenly all the banks started flying to San Francisco saying that they wanted to work with us because they liked our product as a value-added service for their customer. So this is what I'm going to present to you today. As I said, because of our experience, we have noticed that banks use two different approaches usually when they target small businesses. Some banks choose a one-size-fits-all approach towards small businesses, but because of the diversity and variety of small businesses, most of the time this approach doesn't work. Other banks decide to focus on specific verticals, such as manufacturing or retail or business services. But even sometimes within those verticals, there is so much variation because, I don't know, for example, I can manufacture chairs, televisions, or candies. It's all manufacturing, but it's all very different. At SizeUP, we use a slightly different approach. It's a data-driven approach. And basically, that allows us to provide hyper-customized business intelligence insight to all your business customers. So let me tell you that in a different way. We wouldn't look at your customer as a retailer from Poland, but instead we would look at it as a flower shop from the central neighborhood of Warsaw, for example. We would understand his unique situation, and we would probably tell him something he doesn't even know about his own business. Let me show you how we do it with a live demo of the product. So this is SizeUp.com, which, by the way, works for United States only. We are also expanding into Europe. I'll show you some examples later on. But for the sake of the presentation, let's use SizeUp.com, which is, by the way, free to use, so anyone is invited to try and test it. So let's say that we are a coffee shop located in Oakland, California. We have 3 different tools available. I'm going to click on the first. We're going to ask the business owner what are some information about his or her own business that usually they know off the top of their head, such as their revenue. So let's say that this coffee shop makes $500,000 per year in revenue. What SizeUp does is it super crunches millions of data points to provide a benchmark of the revenue performance from a very local level to a national level. So we can see in this case that this coffee shop is almost on average in terms of revenue at a city level, but it's underperforming at a national level. Down below, we have a heat map that shows the different neighborhoods of Oakland, where coffee shops are doing better in red, and where they're doing less good in yellow. These are useful informations if you are as business owner in case you want to relocate your business or move to a more profitable location, or you want to target a marketing campaign, or for example, you simply want to know why some areas are doing better than the area where you are located. Other KPI that we tracked is the year started. So let's say that we started the business in 2010. Okay, that's the risk of live demos. Okay, so basically SizeUP plots the opening of all the new coffee shops at the national level. So we can see that there is a growing trend in the past few years of opening of new coffee shop. That gives an indication that probably we are in a growing industry. If the line was going down, we might be in a declining industry, and me as a business owner, I might want to take different decisions, and also you as financial institutions, different decisions about your own customers. If we are not interested in the national data, we can simply deselect and see that at Auckland level or a county level, there is still a growing industry. Salary. How much do we want to pay our employees? So let's say that we pay $35,000 per year per employee. Well, we're actually paying much more than the average coffee shop pays for their employees, which is slightly less than 18K. This is an important data, which is sometimes invisible to small businesses, but this is the whole purpose of SizeUP, is trying to take some information that are usually invisible to small businesses and make them visible. And we can see that like the highest salaries are, of course, paid in the area of San Francisco. Or another KPI, how many employees do we employ? Say 15. We all agree it's a small business, 15 people, but actually it makes it a very big coffee shop. We have several other KPIs. I don't have time to show them all, but like we also are able to triangulate information. So here you can see cost effectiveness below average, because we are making exactly almost the same amount of money that other coffee shops make, but we employ double the size of the employees, and we pay them more than double. So our, like, let's say, return on investment is much lower. We have many other KPIs. I don't think I have time to show you them all. Some are more US related, but I'll show you the example of other countries. We customize it. But if I click on summary view, I can now get basically this view that talks about my business health. So I can see the KPI I'm tracking, the value for my business, and here is very straightforward and easy to understand for every small business owner that usually when it's green, it's above average, and when it's red, it's below average. We really spent a lot of time in making sure that the usual experience for small businesses was easy and understandable. So this is the first tool. I could just click on competition and move to a second tool, but I want to show you that it works across different industry and locations. So for the second example, I picked a beauty salon in Beverly Hills. So just by knowing these two information, I can now visualize where all the other beauty salons, so my competitors, are located. If I click on customer, if I'm a B2B business, let's say that I want to target talent agencies. So I can now see in green where all the talent agencies are. If I click here, I also can find suppliers. But let's stick to customers and competitors. Basically, that allows me to spot where the best, geographically, where the best business opportunity is. And I can see here that there is not so much competition, but there's lots of potential customers. If I'm interested in talking to one of them, I can simply go on one of them, so Paradigm. I have few informations about them, where they're located, what's their website, and I can get more informed about what they do. So as I said, this works if you are a B2B. But what if you are a B2C? If you're a B2C, you might be interested in overlapping healthcare. No, wait. Sit. Yep. No, sorry. Personal care. So personal care services for female. So what I've just done is I overlapped over the map of Beverly Hills the consumer spending for personal care products for female. So now I know if I'm a B2C business where people are spending most of their income for this specific service. The third and last tool helps a small business optimize their advertising expenditures. So let's say that we are, let's change it, and we are a dentist. Who can give me another city in the US? Any? Atlanta. I don't know which county, because let's pick the first one. So just by knowing these two information, so Office of Dentist located in Atlanta, I can now see where dentists make more money in Atlanta. But maybe I'm more interested in understanding which ones are the most underserved markets. So I just click here, and basically the map has changed now. And it shows me the neighborhood of Atlanta, where there is more expenditure for dentist service, but there is less competition. So maybe there is a very good opportunity. As every one of you knows, every small business perceives themselves as different. So what we do is we allow them to customize their search. So here you have different filters. For example, you can increase the array of search, because obviously for a coffee shop you're not willing to move more than 1 mile. But for a good architect and for a good lawyer, you're even willing to move like 20 miles. So here we allow them to customize their search. Maybe, for example, they want to target people with high household income. So now if we select more than $75,000 per household income, we can see that this is the only neighborhood that fits our search. Down below, we provide them the exact location where their target is located. So if they want to target a marketing campaign or an advertising campaign using Facebook or Google AdWords, they know exactly where to go. So in short, these are the 3 tools: the ability to advertise, geographically see where the best opportunity is, and benchmark your business against your competition. We have launched the product already. So our first big customer was Wells Fargo in the United States. So this is the product on their business website. And we recently expanded also into Europe with Deutsche Bank. So this is the platform that Deutsche Bank is offering to their SME customers, with different tools that help them do business planning, our tool, or expand their business abroad. So just to show you that this is exactly the same tool, this is the case of, it's a car washer located in Berlin. So the KPIs are mostly the same. Obviously, the ones related to healthcare and workers' compensation, which are more US related, we replace them with other KPIs, always in accordance with the bank. All right. So as you could see, basically SizeUP can help your small business customers throughout the whole life cycle of their business, from feasibility to launch, growth, expansion, and replication of the business. And what this allows is basically allows the bank to introduce banking products and services at each of these key decision-making moments of their life cycle. The reason why banks, our current customers, like working with us is because they are able to upsell their products by using our platform. It's used for customer acquisition, for customer retention in case you want to limit the usage to your customers only, and also for engagement, which is extremely important, both online and offline. Online, by using the tool, and by updating the information and data at least 4 times a year. What this allows is basically the bank sending information, sending email out to their customer and say, like, because the data has updated, has changed, now your business positioning has also changed. So click here and understand why. And that gives the bank an opportunity to engage more with their customer. But also offline, and we are seeing the case with some potential customer in the UK that want to implement this product at branch location. So you can imagine like a relationship manager that is usually quite inexperienced, that is just trained to sell banking products and services to their customers. If they were having this product, this information in their hands, the type of conversation that they could have with small businesses would completely change. As I said, these are some examples of corporations that we're working with. with Wells Fargo, Deutsche Bank. Soon in January, we're going to launch a product in the United Kingdom with one of their main financial institutions. We work with the Small Business Administration in the US, the US White House, and Bloomberg Business Week. So we are here, I am here in Poland because we have done data analysis on most of the European countries. So we know exactly which ones are the countries where we could build the platform. And I can tell you that Poland has very good data for small businesses. And we are extremely sure that we can deliver a great product for the Polish market as well. Thank you for your attention.
Okay, thank you very much. And now I invite all the speakers in this panel to discussion panel. So Katarzyna, Marek, Lukasz, Fabio, please stay with us as well.
Should I take this off?
You can leave it.
Yep.
Okay, so as we went deeply in this panel on digital portals, so I have several questions for the digital portal. So first of all, Fabio and Lukasz, which data do you access in each country you are present or you are doing your portals, and do you access actually the banking data if you are cooperating with the bank?
I can start. Okay, thank you. Yeah, as you can see, the product has to be completely localized for every country that we enter. So in the case I showed, the US product obviously lies on a different database than the German one. The data that we use comes from hundreds of data sources, from public, proprietary, private data sources. We have a team in San Francisco which is specialized in data. And that's their main responsibility, so find data about the SME landscape. This is also a limitation because we know that we cannot bring the product to certain markets. So, for example, I was approached by a bank from Tanzania a couple of weeks ago, and they were interested in our product, but obviously this is not a product that we can bring to certain markets. And I can tell you, like in Europe, most of the Western countries are fine. Most of the Central and Eastern countries are also okay. But I mean, some more developing economies might be difficult.
Okay, and Lukasz?
Is it statistical office or is it?
No, it's data related to, so whenever you enter a new country, we need to fill certain data buckets. So we go from financial information of SMEs, so how much money they make, how many employees they employ, where they are.
Yeah, I understand. What are the sources? Is that the statistical office or financial?
Also, it's hundreds of. We use business reports, revenue offices, everything that we can grab that is publicly available. We do it. When it's not publicly available, we need to rely on private data sources. Exactly.
It's a very good question. Thank you for that question. Actually, here are two questions there. So the first one is, how do we get information about the customers from the market? And then how can we create information? Because we actually create information for the banks to use. So to answer the first question, legally speaking, it's best for the customer to volunteer that information. And we are a standalone platform. We don't require IT integration, which also cut the lead times a lot. And all the information we get are volunteered by the customers on our website. So that's how we get information about who is who, and what are the business objectives is then shared by the customers while speaking with the consultant. But I think the real value that I would see here is the information that we create while creating these behavior profiles of our customers and sharing those with the bank. And this is where the value is, and this is where the banks can benefit the most. Does that answer the question?
Thanks. And Fabio, maybe one more question to you. can you give us like a more detailed example on your cooperation with banks? So for implementing your tool, so what was the targets like, and how exactly bank can get this information from your tool? Because it's look very cool, like when a customer wants to open a business in the underserved area. So how fast bank can get this information to help him with them?
Okay. So the first question was?
The more detailed examples. So
yeah,
what
so
did you do?
I've shown the two examples of Wells Fargo and Deutsche Bank. The implementation we did with them was following two different business objectives. So for Wells Fargo, their business objective was to acquire new businesses. So they basically implemented our technology on their website and they let it free to use to everyone. And this works because they wanted also non-Wells Fargo customers to go on their website, and at the same time they advertise on the side what are the banking products and services that Wells Fargo is offering to help them. Deutsche Bank is different. They restrict the use to Deutsche Bank customers only because they believe in the customer base that they already have. And they really want to value that customer base. So if you're not a Deutsche Bank customer, obviously you cannot access it, but you have a few functionalities of the tool that you can try and see if you like it. And obviously if you want to have the full experience, you need to become a Deutsche Bank customer. For the second question, the bank doesn't get feed automatically because, for example, in Germany, it's like thousands of users per month. It would be a load of data that they wouldn't be able to cope with. But we also work with financial institutions to understand what are the data and the information that they want about the usage of the tool and about their customer. And we can provide those informations back to the bank. Usually it's on a quarterly based, but that's also in accordance with the bank.
Can it be realized as a real-time data if a customer wants this, if a bank wants this?
You could. So, for example, let's take again the case of Deutsche Bank. You need to use your credential to access the tool. So, a relationship manager that is behind the platform would be able to see what that specific customer how is using the tool and what is using the tool for, and then perhaps if he sees a business opportunity, can intervene and have a better discussion and more informed discussion with that business. Yes.
Yeah, okay, that's cool. And one more question connected to the digital portal. So actually we see a lot of examples on different markets. Katarzyna, you showed the Santander trade portal, which is heavily promoted in the UK and here in Poland as well, in BZWBK, so supported by the offline activities like conferences and different seminars. And Alior Bank is like doing the same thing. And we see a lot of examples in Singapore, for example, mobile application for matching customers, DBS and DBS Bank, DBS Business Club. So they're doing also a lot of offline conferences to support this tool, this application and this portal. So maybe this is a question to all of the panelists. So do you consider this effective, and what is your opinion on how to launch such a digital portal effectively, how to make the most benefit of it for the bank, and should sales force or employees of the banks have some KPIs on that, or what do you think on this?
Well, in terms of introduction, the digital platform, of course, you have to combine technology with emotions, so technology with human touch, I would say. It's not enough just to give the opportunity online. You have to really work on that, and you have to build a sort of the habit as well, and you have to really make people feel the difference. So it is always a marketing thing that you have to do around it in order to really understand what are the needs, and then how to reach your customers and the users, and how to let them experience the benefit. So the more linked to their way of life and their way of doing business, the better, of course. And the more real hard data or hard results can be generated out of such meetings or opportunities, then the better, of course. So I would say that people are really busy nowadays. So you have to be very, very specific and very, very focused. And but on the other hand, everybody is right now very cautious about not missing the the trend or not missing the important change around in the environment. So when you are really well defined and well focused, and you are really giving the opportunity to touch something that is exciting and can be beneficial for business, that's absolutely the right thing. And of course, there are some tools that really help to do business, and that is an important thing as well, to focus how to help people do their business.
Thanks. Marek, what do you add?
I'm not sure what to add to the.
Do you have some KPIs? I mean, do your RMs or branches have some KPIs on the Zafirmowani.pl?
Actually, no, because Zafirmowani is a free platform, so we don't really need to set KPIs for the branch network to sell Zafirmowani. I think that the best KPI for such platforms is obviously the customer experience and the customer satisfaction. At the end of the day, this is what matters, and this is what may effectively build up a loyalty between the customer and a bank that's providing such platforms. So it works two ways from my perspective. The one way is to, for a bank, we can benefit from additional acquisition by setting up such platforms. We can acquire customers through those customers. You can open a current account in our bank just after you're registered on Zafirmowani. And the other way is that, my dream is to have every of my SME customer running his business on Zafirmowani, which is probably a dream we will not reach. But still, if we truly want to deliver business opportunities, additional services to our customers, we should not make them somehow regulated. They should be accessible for all of our customers.
One more thing that I want to share. Actually, I think that we could talk about KPIs for bank employees. Just imagine that bank employees have KPIs related to the growth of the SMEs businesses, of their clients, actually, right? That would be the nice KPI, wouldn't it?
And my comment, yes, why I asked also my comment that I was recently speaking to the TBS Bank in Georgia, and actually they also have a digital portal for SMEs, and they had a KPI for the branches included is NPS score. And this, the involvement of the customer into the digital portal is much influencing this NPS score, and this is why the branches are also involved a little bit on the promotion of the portal and the usage by the customers. Lukasz, would you add something?
Yeah. Thank you. That's a very good question. Why do I think it's a great question? The three main, in the order of importance, the three main things that decide whether a company will be successful or not is timing. The second is execution, and only the third one is the idea. That's why execution is so extremely important. And we think that we found the right way to do this. So Boston Consulting Group is our investor and partner worldwide. BCG sits on our board. They help us talk to banks, obviously, around the world. And another thing which we do, we place heavy focus on execution once the deal is signed. So we will have account managers working with RMs directly. We will try and set KPIs for RMs, and most of the time we are successful in doing so. I think the best way to place a product of this complexity, because it might seem simple to us, but for an SME owner that has a lot of things going on during the day and a lot of proposals, it's not so easy, is actually to go through RMs, for people who have relationships with the customers today. And we have found this is probably the most effective model. So setting KPIs and execution focus, very heavy execution focus. Also, in order to be able to create the network effect, which you'll be able to create, you have to have a large, let's say, increase of members in a short time. Otherwise, the old members will not have the network effect. And by the time the new members come, the old members are already not using the product. So you need to scale quickly. And for that, you need to have very strong execution. That's why it's so important.
Fabio, would you add something?
Yeah, I absolutely agree, actually. I think it's... Yep, I absolutely agree. I think if I look at our product, I think that the role of relationship managers is essential. And if you just, we have seen the examples of previous customers that we work with, simply putting their product on their website and hoping that SMEs would just come is an utopia. You need to advertise, you need to use the banking distribution network, and by that I talk about email, communication, promotion. I've seen an interesting case of Wells Fargo in the US. Basically, whenever you use your credit card in an ATM, they know exactly that you are a small business owner, and the advertising that is displayed on the ATM is customized for you. And my colleagues in San Francisco told me that they see all the time our product advertised on the ATM whenever they use their credit card from Wells Fargo. So yeah.
Okay, cool. Okay, so do we have questions from the audience?
Yes. I have a question for Marek. So, is this platform only for the clients of the bank, or it's open for any other?
No, it's open. It's open. You can register not being an Alior Bank customer, and then hopefully see all the benefits and become Alior customer at the end of the road.
How many of the clients that are accessing the platform are becoming your clients or are accessing your services in the bank?
Yeah, as I mentioned, this is an early stage, so we do see some testers in the customer base. As I mentioned, 57% already uses our accountancy actively, and the number of those using accountancy then becoming our customers is above 80%.
And is your own platform, is not integration with any other partner, external partner? It's your own platform as a bank?
Yeah.
It's not integrated with
Yeah,
another
of course,
partner.
we have a developer that does the dirty work, but it is our own ownership, yeah.
Okay. And I have a question for Fabio. Is Romania on your list?
We can talk about that later. I need to check my spreadsheet.
Any other questions?
The question probably related to monetization of all these non-financial services. Usually it's one of the big headache now in European markets for European banks, where daily business, so commissions, is not so stable. Deposit rates is so low. So currently loans considered as one of the key sources for development. For example, this 3.9 zloty, it's quite fantastic for me, like a micro company, but where is money comes from?
I invite you to register. You can do it online with your computer right now.
Okay, so money comes from finance, from lending, or how you are going, or what is your suggestion from Opportunity Network, from SizeUP, how other banks earn money from investment in such non-financial services? Thank you.
Okay, so it's a question to me, probably. You know, lending will always be the key pillar in terms of how you revenue from the relation with business customers. But then again, only a portion of customers actually need lending. So if you want to grow and if you have a saturated customer base, you need to be in search of some additional services. So in terms of monetization, I think it's a key question towards all of you on this conference, because what we see now is that the willingness to pay for such unique services is probably not really high. So it's a challenge as well for the startups, the services that you provide, and for us as a bank. And I believe that we are just at the beginning of the road to find a way, what is the most effective way to monetize. And I can imagine a couple of models. You can try to market the service and charge for the service. That's one way. You can charge a monthly fee for your current account services and embed those unique services and hope that those unique services will improve your effectiveness in acquisition and in reaching your target markets. And probably there are more. So in my opinion, it depends on what type of service you want to focus and what type of service you want to market.
Yeah, you can probably also collect additional data thanks to that, and you can somehow make use of this data in a clever, smart way.
Yes. So I would say that two things. So first of all, banks don't pay for the service in our model. It's only the customers. So for the banks it's free of charge. There's no integration. So we're making it easy for banks to join and able to have the scalability that we have. Those that pay are the members, right? And here the key is to have the right segmentation, because for some members, for some prospects, the price that we have could be a problem, but those we don't target. We have minimum cutoff criteria to be able to have the homogeneous group on, well, let's say semi-homogeneous group. It's not completely homogeneous, but we only target those that see the value in the product. We don't believe in free products. We think that products that are free are not used. They're not valued. There's a lot of that. It's not really picking up. We do charge, and we charge, I would say, not a very low amount. It's €2,500 per year, and it's only for the membership, nothing more. So we do not cross-sell any services. We don't do any advisory. We don't do anything like that. We just charge for being part of the community. And those members that we target, that's why we target only the most prestigious banks, don't have a problem. I mean, they are paying. And we see that those that are paying are using far more. Right? So if you have a prospect that's looking to get something, the main reason to buy is because it's cheap, you will probably have a problem with activating that member. That's how we're learning. It's not only about selling, it's also about having activity on the network and having users that are actually active. This is the point, right? Because to sell is one thing, have an active user is another. And we believe that charging a membership fee activates the users more. Okay?
Yeah, there's something to add. Our current customers are not charging their SME clients for the tool that they offer. I don't think it would make much sense because it's a tool that helps them grow and succeed in what they do. Probably there is like a tiny fee hidden in the yearly cost of setting up a banking account, for example, with them, but it's not a line in the balance sheet. In terms of monetization, I think that that's not priority of, I know that everything turns around money, but I don't think that that's priority when we are talking about helping SMEs. But with SizeUP, as I've shown before, banks are able to monetize because they can cross-sell their products and services. If you see the case of Deutsche Bank next to the recommendation, they provide also suggestions related to what types of banking services and how Deutsche Bank can tackle the problems that SME have. But also if you think about like using the tool and discovering that maybe you can relocate to a new area of town, or maybe you need some extra money for setting up a new business. These are all business opportunity, new business opportunity for the bank that allow the bank to monetize. So yeah.
Actually, I can hear that at the beginning of this month I had a short talk to the BDC Bank, which is a small business, specialized small business bank in Canada, and it's a state-owned bank, and they actually charge for non-financial services. So they charge for using the digital platform, they charge for seminars, so they charge, so they do not do it for free. So a lot of
sometimes when you have to pay, you value it much more. So yeah.
Okay, so do we have questions? Okay, so if you don't have, so I invite everybody to the coffee break. We have a 30-minute coffee break, and then we are back here to the last panel.